Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another one of the videos in the Building the Chicken Coop series. This is taking rather a lot longer than I had intended. So we're just going to start collecting clips till we get to the actual end of this project. I have no idea when you're actually going to get to see this video. However, where we're at right now is it's kind of windy, kind of cloudy. Don't know how much time I've got before. Well, more rain is coming today. But figured I'd show you what I've done to those poor logs that I took out of that tree. So for the most part, these have been split as needed. There was a slight change in the plans. I'll get to that in a minute. So now the 6-footers got cut in half. They're taking the place of the 7. I've got the 7 attached at the bottom and coming out. And I've got one of my 5s split in half already. The other 5 still needs to be split. Don't worry, I'll spare you guys that with the chainsaw. Oh, this bloody wind. So in trying to figure out what to do for a roof for this thing, I remembered we have 3 pieces of tin roof from when the main body of our roof was done. These are all 3 feet by, wait for it, 12 feet. So I am no longer running a 15-foot wide chicken coop. I'm running a 12-foot wide chicken coop because I didn't want to have to either fill in 1.5 feet on either side or 3 feet on one side. So I just cut 3 feet off and yeah, 12 feet wide. Since the rolls of chicken wire that I have coming are 25 feet long, it gave me the opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, to put the 7-foot here. So I've got 7 and 12 makes 19. And then it's going to be probably about 4 back to the door, 3-foot wide door. So 23, 2-foot extra to wrap around, posts and stuff. That should work just fine. So now a 7 by 12 space. That's still plenty enough for the very limited number of chickens that we are allowed to have here. So I have started attaching quartered boards to the studs in the long shed. Started attaching quartered boards to their base. And this is starting to take a little bit of shape. The reason I'm splitting these 5-footers in half is so that I can have 4 supports along the front of this. They'll be spaced approximately 3 feet apart. That should be ample for the snow load. Yes, my ridges aren't going to be running correctly because they should be going down like this for a tin roof, and they're going to be going side to side. But I figure since ultimately we're dropping 2 feet over 7 feet, I think that should be enough of a slope that the snow is going to fall. They're just harvesting the canola right now. Good day for that. Storm is coming, so it's better to get that done before it gets all soakered again. But I'm just at a point now where I'm going to take the smaller of the 7s, start attaching them to the top there, and to my 5-footer that I've kind of cut a little bit into just to make it a little easier to set it in place. So yeah, this is going to get kind of interesting, and it's definitely starting to take shape. Getting really excited. Can't wait to see what it all looks like when it's done. But that will be probably at least another week, because I'm still waiting on that chicken mesh. So yeah, there's still a fair bit of work that I need to do in here as well. But the upside of that is if it's raining, I can work in here because this end of the long shed doesn't get any drip through. Surprising considering how ratty the roof looks, but I have been watching in these few rain spells, and while I've got a few places along the back that I'm going to have to fill in to block the drafts and stuff, I'm not seeing any puddles or moisture spots or drip holes. You know how like sometimes when you have a constant drip, it kind of drills its way into the soil. I'm not seeing that happening here, so that is exciting. Like I said, lots to do. Probably going to use this shelf and the classic milk crate to make my basic nesting situation. I've seen a few of those online, so I'm sure I can make that work. Not sure if I'm going to do 1 or 2. I might just take this shelf down. And then I'm going to need to make roosts. Oh, that's bad glare. So I got to get this shelf out of here, but I'm thinking maybe 1, 2, 3, because we don't get to have that many birds anyway. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to make sure it's really easy for me to get access under the roosts, because I think that's where laying hens do most of their pooping. It's going to be, you know, a fair bit of area for them to wander around in the wintertime if they don't feel like going out. Probably right about there. I'm going to take this red thing off. Like I got to get the glass out of here, and I got to separate it and all kinds of stuff. But those are really quick, easy projects compared to the actual outdoor construction and we're really just hiding in here from the wind. So I should probably get back on that, and I will update you guys in a few minutes or an hour or next time something interesting has happened. Alright, starting to feel like a bit of progress now. Looks like tar, but I really don't care, you know. Like, really, my joinery is less than exemplary, but again, I really don't care. Side things, like the chickens are not going to judge me on aesthetics. What's important is that even though it's windy right now, this ain't wiggling. And then after that, what's going to be important is once it gets snow load on it, the darn thing stays in place. It's fairly sturdy right now, but I still want to add a piece along the bottom of the front, and then I want to do either an X on either side or just a greater X all the way to kind of reinforce it side to side. I'll probably do something similar up in the corner here, just, I don't know, maybe even a L bracket or something. But anyway, yeah, I'd like to stable that up a little bit, but here we are. It's at about chin height, this 5-foot mark. So 6 feet of chicken wire will come up, double up, carry over a little bit, and that's fine. I got to put up whatever I'm going to use to mount my rafters, and then run them down. Look off in the distance there. You can see I grabbed out my 3 sheets of tin. Only looks like one right now because they stack really tight, but so like I said, I know that these ribs are supposed to be going up, down, and in fact they're going to end up going side to side, but that going side to side meant that this would actually work to cover the whole coop, whereas going up, down, it wouldn't have worked. I would have had to cut it. I would have ended up with extra scrap bits not going to use, and this way the entirety of those 3 pieces is going to be the roof for the chicken shed. Chicken cage, chicken coop, chicken pen, chicken run. What's really important is going to keep me chooks out of the rain. Now, doesn't really matter what you call it. It's somewhere for the chickens to go get some fresh air, isn't it? And yeah, what's important is it's going to keep the rain from falling on them. It's going to keep the snow from falling in there. There's going to be a little bit that goes through. That snow fencing is antiquated crap. It's not going to block a whole lot. The chicken mesh isn't going to block a whole lot, but I am thinking about maybe throwing up that vapor barrier to create kind of a greenhouse effect once everything's up there and we actually have some chickens in there. So waiting is on that one. So mounting the boards for the rafters is going to present its own set of challenges, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure that out. I think I've already got a couple of ideas. However, duck under. With the wind and everything today, I think I am packing up for today. We'll add more clips to this video tomorrow. Okay, so I don't know where we left things off with the last clip. It's been a day or so. Things are kind of humming along. I've got some tidying done. You can see I've got the snow fence up for now. Moving things around, and I'm starting to suspend my so-called rafters. If you're wondering why I laugh while I say that, we're at a point in the plan where even I know this is some sketchy, dodgy sort of planning, but it's what I'm going with because it's what I've got. So far, this is all material that was around the property. I mean, granted, I'm kind of, how was it I put it to Shocks the other day? I'm carving a chicken coop out of a tree. It's a sculpture. Anyway, so I got 4 of these little 1x4s that are going to have to serve as my rafters. I've got them spaced out so they're all tied into the long shed at studs. I'm going to have to cut the corners out of my first piece of tin once it gets up there, because I pulled kind of a no-brainer, and well, yeah, that you'll see that in a minute though. Don't need to over-explain that one. Anyway, I'm a little concerned about the weight of snow on the middle of this span, so I took one of Fuzzy's ramps. I'm sure as he eats chicken and eggs he'll forgive me, and we're going to put this up underneath these middle 2 rafters, and then this beautiful chunk of apple that's laying down here is going to be turned into sort of a center mast or pillar, kind of just beside or behind the doghouse. Not even sure if I'm leaving that in here. Better decide before I start throwing the cage up. But anyway, that middle post is going to bear that weight straight down onto some concrete little paving stones. So that should work out okay. 1x4s are a little sketchy for this, but maybe later on once chickens prove their worth, I can reinvest in some 2x4s and spend a day doing the roof. Or, you know, a day doing the coop. Using real lumber, it wouldn't take long. This has been fun though. Definitely different. Has a unique sort of look. Anyway, I need to carry on, so best get back at it. You know, for as dodgy as that seemed in my head, now that I've actually got it together, it seems twice as bad. But I'm still going with it, so when it's your only plan, it's your only plan. I'm going to throw that brace in the middle before I get the roof up, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the roof next. Maybe I'll go get a cold water, collect my thoughts, come back. Alright, so some water, some tea, a moment of reflection. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this recycled rusty chicken wire that I found, and I want to close in this space here before I put the roof on so that it's neatly held under my tin, and I want to make sure it's well up against there. I've got 2 3-foot tall rolls coming. This is only a 5-foot span, so I figure as long as I can just close it in here with the rusty stuff, it's fine. It won't matter too much that it's rusty. Not a lot going to be trying to get into it from up here. Squirrels maybe, but I can deal with them. Took a little longer than I expected, and you can barely see this rusty old chicken wire from a distance, but I have it well and truly stapled into place. Well, at least it's secured in these top bits. I still need to find myself something to go from here to here. This part is going to be the door. That's going to open in. Got to make my into the coop door there, but these are all details. I'll get worked out as this evolves. You know how it goes around here. Again, wrapped around the top. Well secured. Down either side. And what I've got coming is going to be more than enough to cover the rest of this up. So from here, I think it's probably time to put on my middle support, and then I can start cutting out the corners for the roof. Alright, so it's getting a little darker. I'm going to be wrapping it up for the day here pretty soon. I've got the corners cut out. In theory, they should fit around those little bits of tree. Just going to give it a test fit and walk away for the evening. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, okay, so I said I was just going to test fit the one piece, but I've got all 3 of them up there now. Only 2 are attached, but now we can see kind of what it's going to look like. I mean, there's still going to be that snow fencing up to about there, so you're really not going to see much of this other than kind of a roof and a few little bits. The overhang is horrible. Yes, I know those ridges are supposed to come this way. Let's not even get into that one. This is the only way that the material I had at hand would actually cover the span, and I'm not that worried about it, you know? So I guess next time I come at this, I want to put, well, I'm going to have to cut these down now that I know the length that my overhang is actually going to be. I want to take some of the rustier chicken wire and do my overhang up here so that it's just so it's completely wrapped up there. I'm still going to have, you know, a little bit of open space, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem, and if it is, well, I'll find a way to fix that. You know, even as I stand here thinking about it, I could probably find some little pieces of wood to stuff in there, screw them down, close that gap. It'll be fine. The chickens aren't going to care. Anyway, yeah, it's coming along, getting some idea of what it's going to look like. Fascinating. So just kind of a quick update here. I cut the ends off of my roof. This is the next day, by the way. Cut the ends off my roof. Used 2 of them as stabilizers in the corner there. It ain't pretty, but it does the trick, and that's all I really care about. I've been dumping a whole bunch of my branches in here that I've got to chip up, because at least they'll be out of the rain now that the roof is on. I found a Christmas tree stand in the long shed, so I'm going to put that on some paving stones with either this chunk of apple wood or one of those nice long beams over there, because it's spruce and it matches the motif, you know. Anyway, that's going to go up in the middle as a support pillar, just to help carry any weight from the snow load. Yes, this is sideways. Yes, it is wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Not even going to get into that. Got some more stuff pulled out of the coop. Got this old shelf assembly here. I think I'm going to find a way to rip these boards up, turn them into my doorway. It'll be nice to have that built in here. I need to stabilize the side still. Lots that I need to do, so we're not near the end of the video yet. You may need to pause and get yourself a beverage or something. Alright, so I've been cleaning away in here. Slowly chipping away. I found an axe head buried under there, so that's cool because I needed a splitting axe, or a splitting wedge anyway. I've got most of the things cleaned out of this side. Still need to figure out where to deal with, like, there's like 8 sheets of glass stuffed in there. That's got to go. But I got my snow fence there that I'm going to use to separate this part of the long shed. We've got the plastic poultry netting that Brandon sent me. So that's fantastic. I'm going to use that around the edge. And I'm going to stuff some straw in there. It's kind of just a draft blocker. Now look what I found in the bottom corner when I moved that shelf though, eh? That's not cool. We've got some serious erosion going on here that clearly they were aware of because there's cinder blocks under there, cinder block there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to backfill this as much as I can, and I'm going to get a bunch of rocks from the field and, well, kind of put a little bit of a floor in where there's a giant hole. I figure if it's backfilled with rocks, at least if this all settles down, it'll settle down onto the rocks. The rocks should drain. Yeah, doesn't matter anyway. It's all going to end up covered with the wood chips and the chicken poop and all of that. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put the roosts up along here. So as I come in the door, they'll be on my right. And I should be able to... No, maybe I'll put it on hinges on the wall there, or on the studs. Then I can just lift it up, rake it out, and I can drop it back down. Quick and easy. You know, I don't want to make this overly complicated, although I already have. Found this fantastic little half a rake, so that'll be good for doing quick tidies. From everything I see, it's under the roost area that's going to be the messiest, so that's where I'm going to pile the most of this sawdust. I'm thinking this shelf here is still probably going to be where the nesting box goes. And I was checking out the siding. I think it's the one just behind these glass panels that I can take it off at the second level here, and I'll be able to put the chicken door there. I'll put the siding back on. So I still got to deal with that, like I was saying. But yeah, it is coming along. Slowly but surely, it is coming along. And I got to get something done on this while I'm waiting on the chicken wire to arrive, right? So, yes, rocks are going to be so easy to find, and they're part of my defense plan anyway. Back in BC, the neighborhood that we lived in was not necessarily the best part of town, and it was rather infested with rats, which meant our house from time to time had some little rats invading into the crawl space down there. Not a good place for gardening. Woo! Nasty. There was so many dead rats and so much rat feces down there when we first checked it out. It was brutal. So what we did to get rid of that problem, well, we tried 2 things. First, we tried growing a bunch of mint along the side to deter the rodents, but the neighbors just kept throwing their fast food garbage on top of it. Those plants didn't deter, well, anything, because they died. So the next plan was we took a whole bunch of decorative stones, laid those along the edge of the foundation, so it became, well, more of a pain in the butt to dig at our foundation than it was to dig at the neighbor's place, so they went off and became someone else's problem, which really is the best kind of rat. The rat that is someone else's problem is the best kind of rat. So that's what I'm going to do here. I figure cats are only going to put up with so much effort digging, foxes are only going to put so much effort into digging, and I've got a huge field just outside the long shed. Well, it's not mine, it's the municipality's field, but they've taken away the canola, and now it's sitting until next spring. So if I go out there, I'll take the little riding mower, I'll attach my little ice fishing sled behind it, and I'll go collect that sucker full of rocks, and I'm just going to lay them all the way around the edge. This is actually going to work. So I was thinking about it, and this ground does not necessarily lend itself to digging 6 inches down and angling out your wire so it will annoy anybody trying to dig underneath it. I keep finding foundation boards and all kinds of stupid stuff in the ground, like so, That is good, solid board, and I'm guessing it goes down quite a ways based on what I found when I was trying to do my attempted landscaping. Check out that video if you want a good laugh. Alright, we can follow the line here that looks like another foundation board, and sure enough, it runs right along to the edge of the long shed here, so digging it out here was not going to happen. I had to come up with a plan, so I figured I would do the rocks all the way around the edge because they work so well in the valley. I guess I'll just do that all the way around the edge of the long shed too. Sorry about the wind, but anyway, I'll cover those holes up, and yeah, that should take care of business for me. It's gonna be a pain to do it, but whatever. So we're starting a whole fresh day of construction here. I'm really looking forward to getting a few different things done, but I gotta share this giggle with you first. I have twice ordered 2 rolls of my poultry netting from Amazon. So 2 different times, ordered 2 rolls each time. I got 1 roll in the mail yesterday. How stupid is that? Anyway, the chipper's pretty much dead, so I don't think I'm going to be able to chip up as much of that as I was hoping. I'm not entirely sure. I am going to use this piece of apple wood for the center. We'll see how it works out in the end. But, while rummaging around by the compost, found this decorative railroad tie. I'm going to cut this to the right measure. I'm going to use that as my interior door frame piece. Got an old shelf that was given to us because they knew I'd want the lumber for something someday. Ripped these boards off. I think with a little further attention, these will probably become my door with the hardwire cloth, so that'll be good. Haven't collected all the rocks I need from the field yet, but there are rather a lot of bricks about, so I might be able to just use them at least along the bottom edge of the coop for now, while I am collecting my massive piles of rocks. It's Manitoba. I will be able to find plenty of rocks in any field, anywhere. So yeah, these aren't filled in yet because I would like to put bricks or rocks or something in there. So if any creature does dig their way in or whatever, they're encountering the rocks and it's a bit of a pain. That one over there, I think I actually already have a few rocks that might wedge into that quite nicely. But, you know, first things first, I gotta secure the pen. And since the door should take up till about here, you can't really see the rusty chicken wire on the camera that well. Stops about there, so here's my door frame. That'll take care of that. That 1 roll I've got there will come all the way around to that door frame and 3 feet up. That little rusty bit I've got there should cover the front, and then that leaves me with like a 2-foot strip uncovered. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out in the end either. This is the plan though, as I start today's efforts on the chicken pen. So I got that piece up to support the roof a little bit and provide the framework for my door, and then I thought, what the heck, you know, I'll just see if that rusty old bale of chicken wire that I've got will make it around for the bottom layer, and it does. So yeah, all the way from the door over to the side of the shed. Got a little band here, but doesn't matter. I've got 3 feet on that new bit, so it'll go all the way up, undoubtedly wrap around, give me some extra that I can stuff in here, so we'll get some ventilation through there, but there's no way anything's going to crawl through there. And that will close up everything right up to the door. And like I said, I've got a roll of 3 foot by 10 foot of hardwire cloth that's going to go on there. So that's good. I should have my exterior shell covered today. I don't know if you guys are going to get to see how that looks or not, because I thought I felt a few sprinkles, and well, I don't want to risk the camera. Well, it ain't pretty, but it'll close them in, and that snow fence comes up 4 feet, so that'll go up to the bottom, just up over the bottom of the newer stuff, all the way around to the doorway. Yeah, not pretty, but I want to reinforce something here, okay? This crazy sort of coop construction that I've got going on is a for now structure. I'm not trying to build a 100-year chicken coop here. I'm trying to build something from free resources, you know, or cheap at least, that can house some chickens and get us into the egg game, because fresh eggs are just infinitely better. So at this point, I've got a sturdy structure, barely protected from the rain. Oh, I meant to get those in there. I pretty much cut that wire off though, I think. Not really needed. Tuck it up, tie it in. I'll figure out something to do with that. And I need to, you know, like join it all together. No big deal. Some of that copper wire that didn't work for My garden assembly structure probably work just fine for this. So yeah, basically done. I had mentioned that I can't really dig in to protect and put the wire down nice and deep. So what I'm doing basically is I'm just taking these rocks, a bunch of different sizes right now, and I'm gonna go all the way along the coop and fill it up. It's gonna take forever, but yeah, it's proven to be effective rodent protection in the past, so I see no reason why it won't work now, other than, well, it's a pain to collect them. Alright, so I'm definitely feeling raindrops. My next step here that you won't get to see the clip of, I'm going to do some raking, clean it up a little bit, probably just throw it all on the garden bed here because I don't know if it's got bad staples in it or what. And then I think it's time to roll out the snow fence again and start attaching it to my little chicken pen. Not sure how persistent this rain's gonna be, but I may or may not finish the door before your next clip too, so we'll just see. Stick around and well, I'll be right back, sort of. Okay, well, it's not really raining yet, so I'm gonna do another quick update here. I've just attached, I still need to put this last piece on, but I've basically attached this old wooden slatted snow fence. Cut it with the angle grinder there, quick and easy. Put a bucket here just in case any stray sparks did some nasty stuff. It's not fantastic, but it's a picket fence, you know. I'd like to get some white paint, but I don't know, I got a few cans of spray paint around. I'll probably cover it up with some. Gotta love that train in the background. Let's step further back though, get more of an overall look at this thing. See, we're back by the side door now. Gonna be moving the doghouse in the long run. He doesn't really use that thing anyway, but from a distance, it doesn't look that bad. I think I'll put some garden beds in front of it, or a couple of berry bushes that can grow through it. The chickens can eat whatever grows on their side. We'll eat whatever grows on our side. For the moment, I've got the mint planter in there, protected a little bit from the elements anyway. I'm gonna come through on the inside and staple gun this to the back of the snow fence, so we've got kind of, you know, a connection there. Solid chicken wire. I consider that to be details though, details. Here's a fun bit. So they got to get in and out of the long shed, right? So here is my ramp, fairly sturdy. Perhaps y'all can let me know in the comments if they do need little boards running across, or if this flat one will be enough. And then I'm going to put some pond liner around the back, because from the inside I noticed a lot of light getting through there, so a lot of draft will get through there. A couple of old paint sticks, a hinge from one of the doors that are in the long shed. Open it up, another paint stick. So redneck brilliance moment, whatever, it works. That's the bit that matters to me. And like I said, I'm gonna run some pond liner around the edge just to take care of any drafts, keep the chickens that little bit warmer. That does add a surprising amount of light to this place though. So I've still got a lot of work to do here, finishing up their resting area. Question for the general audience. So I've got a lot of random things around. Nice large round dowel or flat board. What is going to be better for my chickens' health as far as their feet to have as their roost? I've got kind of rounded edge with this broken hockey stick. So let me know what I need to do there. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to go with some of these dowels, because I have quite a few of them, and that seems to me like, you know, that or a branch. In nature, they'd be on a branch, wouldn't they? So that's kind of roundish. I don't know. I've seen a few blogs, a few articles, says it needs to be flat. So let me know what your experience is on that, please. Well, this whole project is just getting more and more ridiculous. Shocks just came in from checking the mail in town, and wouldn't you know it, it's the exact same kind of box as my last bit of chicken wire came in. And I don't technically need it anymore. And I've got 2 more rolls on the way after that. But at least I got it all on a good price, and you know, I got it all for swag bucks. So, huzzah, I didn't pay any actual money for the chicken wire. Found the rusty stuff. Yeah, swag bucks the new stuff. Salvaged the roofing, cut down the tree, sculpted a chicken coop. I really don't have much invested in this. This is fantastic. And you know what, guys, I think that's where I'm going to wrap up this particular video. It's been several days in the making. I can't even imagine how long the actual clips are going to add up to. So if you are still with us at this point, thank you so much for your patience, sticking around, enjoying what I've got to offer. And yes, next few weeks, it sounds like maybe we should have some live hens in that box. Fantastic.